All right. Count of three. We ready?
Yes.
Thank you, Ken. One, one, two, three. You do not decide your future. Your habits decide your future. Any insight on that? People coming out of bold? What's true about it?
It's a choice. And well, a lot of things are a choice, but in this particular case, you have to decide whether or not you're going to change your habits.
Change your habits. Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? The choice is ours. We get to choose. Mr. Rick?
When you're born, you resemble your parents. When you die, you resemble your choices.
Oh, let's write that one down, Quentin. Q, that's one of his what are we gonna call his Rickisms? So Q walks around and he's like, that's a Shannonism. That one was so good. So that's true, right? We get to make our choices. We have a choice every morning to wake up and be here, not be here, lead gen, not lead gen, talk to your children or walk away from whatever's a better choice there. Daily. Ken, do you have any insight on this one? I see you like studying it.
I mean, what he said was pretty much right. But I mean, I think of it in terms of habits are what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So your future is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You can either be intentional about that or you can be unintentional, but whatever it is what it's going to be.
Yeah. We have to plan to be successful, whatever success looks like to us, but we have to plan for it and we have to choose what habits we're going to pour ourselves into, right? So whatever we choose to do, those choices are ours. So, I'm a huge fan of Gary Keller. You decide your habits and your habits decide your future. So if I lead gen today, probably paying off in 45 to 90 days, right? The statistic has gone down to about 45 days right now just because so many agents have left the business. So we're capturing a little bit more of that market share that Ken's always talking about. I'm seeing it with our lead gen, I'm seeing a little bit more. So if you're lead genning and you're fishing from the right pond, then you're probably getting some business. Does that make sense? Mark's looking at me puzzled. Okay. You can come to lead gen. You can host lead gen. Y'all are dead today. Y'all are like, we're gonna dance in a minute. Is it? All right, bucket fills. We don't have my song. Tell me something good. Yeah. That's okay. We can sing it. Sing good. All right. On this side, Mr. Ken, do you have anything good? You just came out of bold. You were talking really highly about it. So if you don't know what bold is, see Sheena, right? You need to kind of prepare mentally for it next year. It is really, really good. This year was a little different. It was high accountability, not a lot of fluff. And I mean fluff in the best way that I can, but not a lot of that. It was more accountability, more prospecting, more lead gen. Do you guys agree, the ones that took bold? Yeah, it was really, really good. A lot of insight, a lot of building systems this time. So I really did appreciate a whole lot of it. Anything on this side?
This time that it has in the previous ones that I've actually taken.
Yeah. Same. Anything on this side? Tani?
So yesterday we did an exercise where we wrote down our limiting beliefs on one side. On the back side, we wrote down what we were going to achieve if we broke through those beliefs. And we wrote it on a 1-inch pine board and physically broke through it with our hands.
Yeah.
Such a cool experience. But it just goes to show those limiting beliefs are all that's stopping you.
Yeah.
And you need to remove those to get to the other side.
Yeah. That breakthrough is important. That breakthrough is so important, right? And sometimes we don't even realize what's holding us back until we write it. We just have to write. You just have to keep asking yourself why, and keep discovering until you break that ceiling, right? There's always a breakthrough. Anyone else?
Yeah, sure. I'll piggyback bold as well because we did 2 exercises involved. One is where you put a like piece of paper on your back, and we were told to go around and ask people, what you thought of me, just write on the back. Then before we got to look at it, we wrote down the things that we thought would describe us. Smart, this, that, other thing, like that. And a couple of the things that were written on my back, I had never even thought about. I didn't know that I was projecting out to people. So one of the ones that really hit me was honesty, which I am a pretty honest person. But it's not like I go around, oh yeah, I'm so honest, I'm just anything like that. But for someone to say that about me makes me say, maybe I do need to think I am an honest person and then project that a little bit more out into the world.
Yeah.
The other one that really got me was leadership. And I don't know who wrote that, but that made me feel really good because I never see myself as a leader. I always see myself as a helper. And someone said, lead by example. And that's sort of what I've tried to do. So the fact that that's coming out, it felt really good. So
Good job, Q. Love that for you. Love that. Yeah.
And last year when we did it, it was kind of disheartening because I didn't have a whole lot of people signing my back, and there were more people last year than there were this year.
Yeah.
I didn't have a whole lot of people, and the things that were signed, they were not bad things, but they weren't what I wanted to see. They weren't what I wanted people to see me as. This year, I had a whole lot more people sign on my back, people that I didn't even realize I had interacted with in the 6 weeks that we were there. And the things that were said were things that I wanted last year to work on to kind of project more, and then getting to see that people perceive me that way at least.
What is, if I may, what is one thing that was written that you wanted to see?
Leadership was one.
Okay.
I wanted to be someone that people thought that they could go to and be helpful and, be a force to like help guide. Because there's so many people who do that for me, and I want to be able to do that for other people. There's a lot of confidence, and there were things that I didn't. Somebody wrote down inspirational, and I'm like, I don't know who wrote that. Thanks, I guess. I don't know, but I think that I'm much more settled in this job now than I was a year ago.
Sure.
I think that people are seeing.
A lot of growth, a lot of hard work, right? A lot of hard work, a lot of learning, a lot of showing up when you don't want to show up. You should give yourself a pat on the back for that. You've done well. So much growth. So congratulations. Job well done. Yay! That makes my heart smile. Because I'm gonna tell you, and I'm a transparent moment, putting this bowl together was probably one of the hardest things that I've had to do in the past year and a half, because so much around the money part, because it was what, $800 to do it. So in a market that shifted where most agents are like, kind of have scarcity around the money, it was more difficult to help them see the value than it's ever been for me, than it's ever been. So really having to help and pour in and find a way, it was challenging. And I didn't even think we were going to meet the 30 people. Like I kept telling myself, how are we going to get beyond this like 25 number or 18 number? And we ended up with 51 people in bold. 51 people. So, and that's not counting leadership. That was people that needed it. And this bold we sat through moments where people couldn't even get through the bold law without crying. There was so much attached to this. It was insane. It was very intimate. Yeah.
I think that's what kind of broke through with the people
Yeah,
that were there, and so many people gleaned so many things from it.
I agree.
It just really helped them and set them up.
I agree. This one was really different. This one, I would say intimate breakthrough would be my words of this bold. So yeah, but they graduated, it's over, and we're moving on. So thankful for that as well. We're going to talk a little bit today about Marc Takas is here. So we're going to talk about build a listing-based business from your SOI. He's going to go over some different things, but I wanted to touch on this. You guys, you can always find, I love that you guys think I'm a genius. Love it. But this information that we teach from is usually on Connect, out of Shift, out of the MREA, and we pull from it, sometimes YouTube, whatever it is. Kudos for Tashina for always putting it together for me and making sure that I look really good. So when you come to lead gen, the one thing that I always tell you guys is don't just come and be unintentional. You need to come and be intentional. So if you're going to make the calls, what happens after you make the call? What happens after you have that conversation, right? The money is in the follow-up. So if you're just having that initial conversation and I go behind you and I have 3 more conversations from the person that told you no, they're more likely to choose me than they are you, right? So about 70% of agents will make a phone call the first time. 17% will make it the second time. Probably because they don't have a system. I'm going to bank on that, right? Or they got a no the first time. And so a no is a no and they just move on. A no to me is a no, not right now. But if you're currently, like last week, had your house listed, you're probably going to relist, right? I've just got to find out the why, right? Why did it expire? Why are you selling? And why are you a no today? Probably not getting that on the first conversation, but when I call back, probably going to have that conversation, right? And then I'm probably going to get an appointment. So when you're talking about lead generation, whichever way you lead gen, whether it's golden letters, text messages, phone calls, whatever it is, what happens next? That's the most important part, right? And then are you touching base with your vendors, right? Are you asking them for business? Because if I get business, my vendor gets business. So it behooves them to like give me business, right? Because I'm loyal. So you want to make sure that you're touching everybody in your sphere. So when you guys come to me and you're like, I don't have anyone to call, what will I do?
You gonna pick up that phone and pick a random number and call them, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to say, give me your phone. I'm going to say, give me your phone.
Okay.
Open your phone. Who you want me to call? You're going to say, oh, nobody. I'm going to say, okay, click. And you're going to look at me like I'm crazy. I thought she was going to slap me last week. She was like, who are you calling? I was like, I don't care. I'm your assistant. I don't care who I'm calling. But I'm going to have a conversation. I'm going to leave a voicemail. And we did. But it's only to prove that you have to make the call to get the business, right? Or the text or the letter. But there has to be a conversation somehow, somewhere to get that business, right? Until it becomes organic and you're getting referrals. And even then you should still be lead genning, right? So I'm gonna fight for the list. So if y'all don't want your list in your phones, see me, because we'll buy it from you, $100. I'm gonna spread those out because guess what Zillow does? That's what they do. They geofence and they get your contact information and then they spread it out and sell it, right? So this is found on Connect, Sheena. Is this where we pulled this from? All right, guys. So do you understand how important lead genning is? If you want business, if you have a plan, you're gonna go get it. This should be a part of your plan. I could teach on this for an hour, give you the plan, give you the system, then you guys can manipulate it. But Marc Takas is going to go through comps and pulling how to price and all that stuff. So I don't want to dig into this until next week. So this is like introduction to next week when we start talking about it. Statistically, you should call between 9 and 11. I'm finding on the ROIs that I'm looking at that the time in the morning, it's about a 50% ratio. The afternoons are working just as well now. Right. So in the past, we've always said, the early bird gets the worm. I still think that's true, but statistically based on NAR, they're saying if you call in the afternoon, it's still a 50% ratio. Does that make sense?
I get more afternoon.
You get more in the afternoon. I'm finding that to be true, actually, just based on conversions and watching numbers and stuff. So don't get stuck on when you make the call, it's making the call. So don't kid yourself, right? Because you're like, well, it's too early to make a call. No, you're just making an excuse. You don't want to make the call. I don't care what time of day it is, right? I think Eddie touched on that in Bowl too. I think he was like, it doesn't matter the time, you just need to do it. Because for some people, they work at night, right? So let's be aware of those things. I could go on and on about that. A couple of things that we're seeing before I invite Dave up here, our favorite attorney. If you guys have any listings or any of that stuff, what we're seeing more of right now are wholesalers kind of coming back. They were kind of drifted off for a good 6 months, I guess, 6-7 months. Now they're kind of back, but they're making aggressive offers. So when you get this offer in your inbox and it's saying subject to, you need to know what that means. Don't chat GPT it unless you know how to prompt chat GPT to understand what a wholesaler is to begin with, because it may or may not know, right? So a wholesaler,
Don't chat GPT when you work for a real estate firm that has all the answers if you just ask the right person.
Get Harper. Truth. So a wholesaler is usually a person in the middle. They will make calls when we won't make calls. I always say a wholesale outwork an agent 10 to 1, right? They just dial. They just dial. They don't care. They want the business. So a wholesaler is an unlicensed person, I guess, individual. Yeah, they're not licensed. Normally they're not licensed. They can be licensed, but normally they're not. They make these offers to sellers, and usually the seller accepts. right? They get a no, they continue. Why'd you say no? Where's the pain point? They're relentless, right? So they get these offers, they get these contracts, and then they say, okay, let me go find a buyer, right? Then they're going to hopefully go find a buyer that's legit. Sometimes they're not. When you get an offer that says subject to, it's important that you realize what's happening. So this person is making you an offer. They're saying, we're going to buy your property subject to, I don't know, subject to mortgage or something. So what they do is they transfer the deed into their name. Okay. So they transfer the house into their name so they gain ownership. However, they don't transfer financing. So if they don't make the payments on the home, who's responsible? The seller. And if they default and you're the listing agent, think about that. Henry Norman's calling. Okay. So you're all tied up. This doesn't just release you when it's gone, because it's very similar to a lease purchase, except for in a lease purchase, you don't transfer ownership right away. So when you come to me and you get a subject to, I'm always going to say, try to talk them into a lease purchase. Try not to go the subject to route. It is messy. And O'Kelly no longer does subject to deals, I believe. So you want to come up and talk about contracts for a second?
Well, she stole my subject.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So that's pretty much what we were going to talk about. Just be very careful. There's a lot of investors out there with their own contracts. And in these times when the pressure is more on the seller side than the buyer side, just be very careful when you're reading those contracts to know exactly what they're saying and what obligations you're putting on your seller, what obligation you're putting on your buyer whenever they do that. In those kinds of situations, a lot of times they'll use a different closing attorney, somebody that you probably don't know, a little mom and pop shop. And it's important to know when you're closing at those little places, they're not going to give you the support that normally you would have at an O'Kelly or a bigger firm. Okay. So when you close, usually they'll ghost you if there's a problem outside of the close. Okay. Whereas when we do a closing, if there's a problem later, you can always come back to us and, we'll help you fix it. But they're going to stay loyal to their client, which is of course the investor, whoever is bringing them the deals. So just keep that in mind now. And I'm not talking about, when they're using GAR contracts or, builder contracts or stuff like that. I'm talking about these very specific investor contracts. So does anybody have any questions about any of that? Yeah.
It might be good to explain what the end game is for those subject to contracts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
And when they, in the rare occasions, they work out, what that looks like.
yeah, they're the ones that we're worried about are the subject to ones. There are flippers out there.
Not the assignments.
Yeah, not the assigns. Yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately, they're wanting to find a buyer that's going to close ideally at the same day, right after they do the purchase. Okay. Or sometimes they'll even lump them into one, and you'll see, assignment clauses in these contracts so that you only close one deal with an assignment fee in there. So that is the ultimate goal. But for these wholesalers now, they're putting more aggressive language in there in case they don't find buyers. Okay. So it's harder for them to find buyers. And ideally, they have buyers lined up before they even go under contract with your seller. So they'll be negotiating a contract to sell before they're under contract to buy. Crazy stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Their ultimate goal is to flip it, make a quick 10 grand, make a quick 15 grand. But if they can't do that, your seller is still on the hook for the mortgage, no matter how many times the buyer says they're going to pay it. And maybe they will pay it, but it's important for you. But it's important for you to let your sellers know exactly what risks they're undertaking and exactly what recourse they're going to have, which is pretty much nothing. Does that pretty much answer, or is there another goal you're going for?
I've seen, they are notorious for not putting up any earnest money.
Yeah.
That's the goal is to put no cash in the deal.
Right. Sure.
Exactly.
So yeah, like I said, I've not seen one work out.
Yeah.
In the end game. So
We have seen them work out, but we've also seen them blown apart.
Yes.
And especially with these subject to deals, which we won't even do anyway.
The hit rate on that is about the same as subject to an insurance settlement check arriving before closing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, roof repair and all that stuff, yeah.
No, I'm talking like, oh, I was in a car wreck.
Oh, yeah.
Settlement comment.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna pay cash.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm just trying to, yeah, so basically, so it'd be like, I would have a listing, somebody, a wholesaler would come with their own documents, they would have an agent, and they're trying to.
They may have an agent, but probably not. I got one this morning, so.
Get them all the time.
Yeah, and they'll come in with their offer. Actually, some of the time they are there, the agent, the wholesaler.
Yeah.
And they'll make you an offer and say, look, you don't pay anything off, just give it to me. And that's pretty much the deal. And your seller's under duress, oh my gosh, I really want to sell this. So they'll say, okay, well, it's important to pump the brakes on that. And just tell them, okay, well, this is what's happening. Your name's still on the mortgage. I mean, once you tell them that, most of the time they're going to say, no way.
Why would I do that? Yeah.
So are they still on guard forms, or are they
No.
totally different?
No, they're totally different forms.
And you may see,
I was just gonna say, I think a lot of times when they come and they say subject to, it confuses the seller.
Sure.
Because then the seller wants to know, well, subject to what? So if we could help explain the subject to.
Well, it's just that the mortgage is still going to be subject to the mortgage. Your mortgage is still there. And again, their goal is to flip it so where there's not a mortgage payment that's going to be due. They'll turn around and sell it the next day or the next hour even. But
don't get us confused with novation. If you get into a conversation with an investor and he starts throwing this language out there, call Dave, right? Don't try to understand it. Don't try to, with novations and subject tos and assignments, you can get really confused. So if you do have this come across and your seller is thinking about it, go have a conversation with Dave before you do it. Okay? Because you do need to completely understand what you're signing.
But at the same time, you still do have investors, the big ones, the
Yeah.
corporate investors, and they will have their own contracts, and those are okay. There's no subject to, I'm just going to buy it as is, but, it's still important to read them, even if they're, bona fide, contracts. Just know what you're, because a lot of the times these investors now will have where the seller's paying for the attorney's fees.
That's true.
And so you'll go and you'll sit at the closing and your seller's sitting there saying, why am I paying attorney's fees? And then you look at the contract and it says it in black and white, seller will pay closing fees. So just stuff like that, just keep it in mind.
Quick question. I think everybody knows that we are obligated by law to present any bona fide offer to our sellers. Do those count as bona fide offers? Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, I would err on the side of presenting. But you can certainly present it in a way that your seller.
Yeah, for sure.
Ignore this, but I have to.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good one to do.
But you got an offer, so you're doing your job.
Just going back to what she was saying about it being a tough market, it's a tough market for us too. We're right there with you. But the thing that keeps me going and a lot of the agents going is know when it comes back, if you're getting your habits and your processes down, you're going to be successful much more than any downtime pressure that you have right now. And it happens every single time that we have a cycle like this. So stay the course. And then when it comes back, you'll be very, very happy and grateful that you did.
That deserves a clap. We all want to be happy. I'm considering that applause sign. I've got it in my Amazon account, so I can put it. I was going to put it back there, but then I was like, for what? I need to put it up here so you guys can see it and be prompted to be like, clap. All right. That was good. DRB is here. If you guys don't know DRB, you should. I've worked with them for years before they were DRB. So I'm going to welcome them up so they can talk about some of their communities, I guess. And also Movement Mortgage is with them. So I do want to introduce them. She dropped a line to me a while ago. Let me see if I can get your attention with this. She said they've got a program that has 0% interest. What? Psych. But she did say that. She did say that to me. My mouth dropped. I was like, you have a what? A layaway plan.
Cedric, I have been with DRB for 4.5 years. As you can see, my business card says Greenville, so I relocated from Greenville, South Carolina. I generally stayed here this year, so I think
Oh.
about a year and a half now. So I missed Atlanta, so I wanted to come back here. So I'm also in Average Crossing as a partner. So we're on exit 78, Sitton Road. We have single family and townhomes. Our townhome starting at 314,993, and our single family starting at 352 up to 457. 3 bedrooms up to 6 bedrooms as well. 4 total baths, say 2.5 up to 4. Single family, we're giving 20,000 in incentives and 10,000 for our town. 2% preferred lender credit. So this is part of why Movement Mortgage is here, because they're one of our preferred lenders. They do give that 2% lender credit on top of our incentives that we give to your buyers. Of course, they have different products that everybody's getting stuff on with no money out of pocket. Also, we are doing a 5-month arm at a 3.99 rate with well,
Great.
buyers are looking for that low mortgage affordability. We have that for them. So the flyers that you guys have, you should be single family and townhomes. And this is pretty much let you know that this is what we're providing at the moment. We do know when rates drop, prices may go up and may go down. I am at Addis Crossing, which is funny, but I want to let you know we're going to have 223 homes, 154 townhomes, and then the rest is single family. So we've been open since June 2nd. We done sold 25 homes. So we're moving fast. It's a great location, 5 minutes from Stonecrest Mall, 5 minutes from the Walmart, 10 minutes from your hospitals, your Publix, all of your groceries and shopping. Also, too, we are the top schools for Rockdale County. So Texas is a little bit more affordable than DeKalb County. So that's a good thing about that. You got my business cards. If you have any questions, I was able to pull out that $1,000 agent bonus for you guys.
Okay.
So just call me that, you know, if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. I work 7 days a week. Really supposed to be 5, but I'm available. If you got a buyer from me, I work 7 days a week. So just let me know if you need me. I got my marketing genius here with me to talk a little bit more about DRB and why you should bring your buyers to a premier builder. And we would just love to help you guys.
Nice to see you all. I'm Whitney Fitzgerald. I'm the marketing manager for DRB Homes here in Atlanta. So we have that we were previously Night Homes. If anybody was Night Homes, DRB purchased us, and now we've grown and we've actually just acquired another builder. So I think we're like 3rd largest private home builder in the nation now, and I think 5th in this market. So we are growing. But we do have that hometown, you know, personal feel, and you can typically get someone on the phone. I manage all of our HOAs and a lot of other things too. So I'm a good point of contact. But Abbott's Crossing is a great community. It does have amenities.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
We got a pool and a cabana and a play area that's coming.
And it's right off of I-20, but it still feels quiet and quaint. It's a little bit remote. So you really, it's just a tucked in wonder. So definitely go check it out. We do have 2 decorated models, a decorated townhome and a decorated single family. We're actually going to build another single family and decorate it. So if you haven't seen some of our models, we just won 5 Obie Awards this past weekend for our model home. So we do learn experience. You come in, you always feel, you know, I'm always amazed at what our decorators do. I work directly with them, but they have, you know, just the creativity and just the amazement when you walk in and see, oh my gosh, look at this trim, look at, you know, just, it's just fun to see. So if you're into that, I strongly recommend you come check out our communities. We do have, just to mention a few others, since we're here, because I know you guys sell everywhere, but we do have Westminster out in Covington. That's on the back end. It's in phase 2. We actually have an event out there this weekend, a little Halloween event. So I'm not being much sponsor, but that is a swim community as well, and it's in the heart of Covington. And then we have over in Loganville, our Hampton Lakes community, which is right near Bay Creek Park. It's great school district as well. You can actually walk to the schools from that community, but we just opened the model. We're about to have some finished inventory there. So that is, we're going to be doing a lot of events out there shortly. And then, you can put the price points on for Hamilton Lakes. I believe the finished inventory is in the mid-5s. I think if you want to build, you do a 2B build, I think the base pricing starts in the upper 4. So it does include lawn care with the HOA. So, and it's a great location. It's a beautiful little community. It's right off the Zorro Church Road and the Zorro Road. So it's really convenient to everything. But again, you're tucked away and just feel like you pull off and that's got a beautiful model as well. So, but keep an eye, if you don't follow us on Instagram or LinkedIn, just make sure you follow us because we do a lot of fun events. And obviously we always like to include our realtor partners because you guys are the ones who make it happen for us.
So if they follow you, are you going to follow them back?
Sure.
Okay. Has to be a win-win. We need the follows.
Also, we do allow you to come out and film our models in our communities. We do ask that you don't put the branding in because you aren't, technically working for us, but we do encourage that. So, we would like you to come coordinate with the agents to make sure it's not a busy time for them. But we do have a lot of agents that do come out there and film because they photograph well. So we encourage you to do that. And then we have out in Gwinnett, we've got Adagio, which is in this last phase, it's higher price point in the 6s, 4 sides brick on the external perimeter of the community. We have several more coming up in Gwinnett as well.
Are you guys going to hang around?
We can.
Yeah, if you guys would like, you guys can, if you want, if you guys could hang around and they can ask questions and probably get on your calendar to go film and do all the things. Yeah, I appreciate that. All right. We'll do it after. We'll do it after. That's my clicker. Guess who's next? Woo! All excited. Well, actually, we're going to talk about this, but we already did this. I'm going to Photoshop myself in there. Real quick, top volume. Congratulations to Stacy Brownlee Properties. They're the top volume for this past month.
Oh, nice.
Which was September, I'm sorry. Congratulations, Lions Home and Land Group, top volume group. And then it's Mark. We ready? So Marc Takas is here to talk about pricing listings. If you don't know who he is, this will be in your email real quick right after our team meeting. But he is an ALC member, so we appreciate him being here. He's closed 58 closed sales with a total volume of 30.2 million, averaging around $520,000 per sale. Price range 265 to 1.4 just on his average. So I think he knows how to price some homes.
Yeah.
I read this, Mark. It says like all I read was you hold a BS, and I was like, oh.
I have a lot of BS. Yes. Yes. That is a Bachelor of Science from the University of Dayton. The Dayton Flyers. If anyone is looking for a college for their kids, I highly recommend it. Can I steal this?
Yes, an actual.
Whoops. Sorry. The actual BS, yes. All right. So we are going to talk about pricing today, and I'm going to get this thing hooked up. I didn't bring slides, but we're going to go through a quick pricing exercise, which I always find is way more valuable to actually do it than talk about it. Oop. All right. Is that going to go away? Okay. All right. So, see, I got one that I overpriced. That's about to expire. It happens to the best of us. All right. So, what I will say, so a lot of us old timers, when we start chatting, we are all very, very challenged right now with pricing. So it's a tough market. It's very tricky. A lot of experienced agents are struggling. So don't beat yourself up. Don't, we're all having, I mean, God, how many times have we talked in the last couple of weeks? and prices are weird and property's weird and it's unique and it's just what we love about the business. But it's out there. One thing I will say though, and I don't know how much this gets said, you know, Michael Penix doesn't just show up on Sunday and throw a football and he's like making lots of money doing it. He practices, he works at his craft. One thing I will say that I don't see as much as I used to, and we're probably guilty of it as well. I don't see agents practicing listings, practicing pricing. You have to work on these skills because these are the skills that make you an expert. That's what really gets you over the top. One thing I highly recommend to all of my agents over the years is y'all do Caravan in this market. I know we do it in Madison. That is a great way to learn the inventory, learn the market. And then it's fun. You play like a little Price is Right game and you say, okay, where did this sell at? And you track it. You keep an eye on it. Like, what is your opinion of it? You go through the exercise. Even if, you know, what do you make on a listing sale? 10 grand? Are you going to just walk in, not practice, not know anything and expect to cash a $10,000 check? So you got to practice. You've got to go out and do the work. And it takes time, but it is invaluable to go and do that. It's what sets you apart. All right. So that's my soapbox. You go on Caravan. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I love Caravan. I think I can't believe more people don't do it. It's fun. You get free food. You're learning how to do the business. Like you're networking with other agents. There is a litany of good things that come from Caravan. The fact that it's not as well attended as it used to be shocks me. I think that had to do with COVID. I mean, you know, you put a sign in the yard and it sold. Nobody cared.
Professionalism and unprofessional.
Also possible. But I do think we do ourselves a great service by getting back to that habit. That's a habit that will build and pay off. Whether we're doing listings or buyers. All right, so I want to go through how I go about pricing. I don't know if it's the right way. Everyone's going to have a little bit different flavor to it. I get that. And you should make it your own. You should do what's comfortable and what makes sense to you. So the way that I do it is, you know, when I first got in the business, I'm a very analytical guy. I was a computer nerd, spreadsheets, numbers. That was my game, right? And it was very frustrating to me because you had these other agents that were very successful that were all about the art of real estate, and it just drove me insane. But there's what I learned over the years is that it's both, right? There are numbers. It's sort of the appraiser's way of looking at real estate. You know, you draw a 1 mile circle, you get all your properties that are within 10% of the size, and you know, you hit your boxes, and then that gives them it spits out a value that hopefully is reasonable and the banks trust. But there is also an art to doing this whole real estate and especially to pricing. And that comes in, you know, you have to look at the factors that matter to a market. Normally it's going to be location, huge, schools, right? Schools, what's around it. Style's a big one. Size is a big one. I mean, for instance, there's a 15,000 square foot house in Madison that's been for sale for years. Who the hell needs a 15,000 square foot house, right? More importantly, who's going to pay for a 15,000 square foot house? And well, anywhere, right? That house doesn't fit the market, but you have to understand that to go price it accurately. You know, the age of the home, some markets love new houses, some markets love old houses, some markets love 1970s houses. I don't know why, but that's what they like. So you just have to understand your market as you're going to price it, because any of those factors, you know, on paper, hey, my house is 1,800 square feet. It should sell for $300 a square foot. Well, not if it's the wrong style or the wrong whatever. So you just have to understand all of these things. So who's got a house that they are actively meeting with the seller to try and get the listing, or they're actively trying to figure out the pricing on? Let's play the game. Let's try. Sorry, I know you do. What you got?
Okay. So it is 1.5 seconds.
That's your fine. They're all just watching you.
It is. I am so sorry.
I wonder if I have the.
What city is it in?
Auburn,
Auburn, Georgia.
yes.
Do you have one that's in a market that will show up in his FMLS feed?
It's about
745 Field Spring Drive.
2745 Field Spring Drive in Lithonia. All right. So the first thing I do is I always look at the tax record. That way we get some information. And there we go. And the very first thing that I do, because I've been doing this for too long and I have dealt with subject to, is who owns this house? Is the person that I'm talking to also the owner name in the tax record? Very basic. Very important. Because if you mess that one up, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, so we know that this is and this is someone you're talking to?
Yeah.
All right. So it's a almost 1,800 square foot. It looks like it's on a quarter of an acre. Built in 97, 4-bed, 3-bath, and they bought it for a really good price. We don't care about what they bought it for, right? Factors that influence the price of a home, that is not one of them. It does to the seller, and I get that. But in an objective market-based research, that doesn't matter. I hope they make $1 million. I don't really care. Okay, so we get some features of the house, right? All right. So then you kind of look at it, or I always look at it as, okay, if I'm an appraiser, let's start there, because that's obviously a very important factor in this whole thing. So I like to look at, what's around it, kind of look at the broad market, and then zero in as you figure out details. So I'm going to look at all of the last 6 months sales. I'm going to look at all of the actives. I'm going to look at everything around this house within a mile. What'd you say that address was?
2745 Field Spring Drive.
Right, and I'm going to look at a mile. And there's 75 matches. So that's probably a little bit too much for us to really deal with. But let's see. And you'll see the highest listing active is 330. The lowest active is 165. There's 25 current listings competing with that house, just based on the location. All right.
In a mile?
That's within 1 mile. So then, you can kind of look at it. And we see that there is I-20 there. That's a pretty big road. That's probably going to influence value at some level, right? We also see that, was that 278? 278 is probably going to influence things at some level as well. So we already know this going in, right? So now we can start to dice this up. My guess is that the school district here is going to be a factor, an influencer, and we have to figure out, is it the elementary school? Is it the high school? Like, where does that line happen? Probably 278, but we want to know, right? We don't want to assume, we want to know. But ideally, our competition is going to be inside this circle, but south of 278 and north of I-20. We want to confirm that with the schools. And I don't know this market well enough to say, like in my market, I would know this off the top of my head because I practice. So are you familiar with this location? I think you probably are.
However, I'm still doing research on it.
So what are the factors that influence value in that market?
Oh, meaning like malls, the malls.
Proximity to jobs, how close is it to schools? What are the schools? Parks?
Yeah, it's a park. It's near a park. It is near schools. It's near hospital.
So jobs?
Um,
All right, well, I'm going to guess that I'm right, and we're just going to make that our.
So why did you consider that?
Because I know major roads are oftentimes drivers of things like that.
Of course.
They're separate, right? They're separators, right? I mean, there's markets in town, same neighborhood, where one road goes through the middle of the neighborhood, and the values on the south side of that road and the north side of that road are 5% different. You just have to know that. So I'm guessing that that's the case here. I could be wrong, but for our purposes,
When looking at it as far as price.
right. So these are factors you want to look at. So now I have a much more manageable number of homes to look at 15. And this is the appraiser's way of looking at it. So they'll go outside of this, but usually they'll try and stay pretty tight. So,
Did those errors mean that it's had a recent price drop?
yes.
There was.
Oh yeah, you're not an FMLS girl. Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of price drops. And that's something that we need to understand of the market, right? Like, even after doing all of this,
In this market, 'cause I know the Laconia market, Crystal, one thing to consider is that stone press small is right now off market up for sale for 80. So you need to keep that in the back of your head when you're going back to off. It is stone press small is up for sale at $80 million. So we'll transfer. Yeah. Okay, so just keep that in the back of your head.
Okay.
I'll put in 10 bucks.
you're in for 10. All right. So now we know the location, right? That's a big factor. We think we've zeroed in on other competing or other comps with a location as far as value drivers, right? That's always number one. Real estate, what are the three most important factors in real estate? Location, location, location. So we start there. All right. Then you go into sort of the style and the size. So by looking at the other houses on the market and that have sold, you can pretty quickly say, that's not really a match. Or maybe it is. Actually, it's more of a match than I realized. So that style is pretty comparable.
Can you go back to your other screen real quick?
Which, that one?
No, go back to your search. Right there.
Mhm.
The first factor that jumps off to me is the fact that every single home in that zone was built between 97 and 2001, which means they're all going to be very similar.
Yep.
If you check them, the square footages are probably going to be very similar.
Yep.
Because that part of Lithonia was developed at the same time with national builders building the same size boxes to fit a price point. So all of those comps are going to be similar just off of the year built. And it's also why you see a very tight band.
Tight price. Yep. Does that make sense?
Two is that 10 of your 15 are closed. And when we know he's looking at 6 months out, that means if you've got 5 available and 10 closed, that's 3 months of supply, which is very much favoring who? Sellers. Now you can get.
Thank you. So I do that calculation at the end. Like I look at the broader market. So this that makes sense, but I always feel like when you want to look at market stats, you want a little bit broader. Maybe it's the entire school district. Maybe it's that big 1 mile circle I started with. Because it could be that you just happen to have a bunch of people, 5 people that really like this area. So you want to, statistically, you don't want to rely on very small numbers when you're talking about broad market things. Does that make sense? But to look at comps, I think you want to be very tight. All right. So that first one, and yeah, Ken's right. These are all going to be pretty similar. But why? But then you need to answer the question. That one's not super similar. Yeah, see, this one's so style-wise, these are a little bit different. Now and we'll go through all of these, but now one question you need to ask yourself as you're looking at these styles is, okay, why is this one 309 and that one's 250? Why is there a $60,000 price difference? And you're trying to answer that question because you want to know if your listing fits into that 309 or into that 250. Yeah, that's different. Maybe. But you want to answer that question, right? This one's under contract, so then you want to say, okay, now why'd that one go under contract? There's a concept called pacing the market, and to really do it right, you've got to be really deep into it. If you're truly pacing the market, it's usually for a specific seller or a specific buyer, and you're actually watching the pool of what could be their comps very closely daily. And then you're calling, when one goes under contract, you're calling one of the agents and saying, okay, tell me the story. Why did your buyer choose this? What factors went into this one? And you get really deep into a market then. All right, so we know that. We know the pendings. I mean, this one's at 335. Why do you think that one sold for so much more? A lot bigger, a lot different, a lot better, a lot different style, right? So that's probably not really a comp, even though it's basically next door to our comp.
It does give you ceilings though, which helps when your client.
Right.
I think it's worth 425.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely value in understanding this one. But that's the highest comp, the highest sale. So this one sold for 315 net. So that's a pretty good comp. So why'd that one sell for 315 net? Probably because of the interior, right? So these are the things that you want to look through, and you've got to do the work. You've got to go through all of these. Even better if you can go visit some of these. And Caravan does that. All right. So you're going to pick your pool of, and I'm just going to randomly pick a few that are sales. So that one's pretty close. Put my who?
Your comps on your closed 3 months.
6 months. And sometimes in a small market, I'll go back a year. Yep. Because in a very small, tight area, the market hasn't moved. It's still the same people wanting to buy it, right? Now you may have to make adjustments for the overall market, but you're still trying to figure out what's attracting buyers to that property. So you just need more numbers to figure that out. Yeah, you want to look at, as a listing agent, you want to look at it through the eyes of a buyer. When you walk through someone's house, when you walk through a seller's house, if you can get them to put their buyer, hey, you're buying your house again. What do you see? Man, that's powerful. They will have all sorts of realizations. All right. So then it's a matter of, in my mind, you pull so let's say those are our 3 comps or 5 or 6, whatever number looks good. And then you start to figure out, okay, compared to my listing, what's this house look like? Interior. Got some new flooring, new paint. Like that house looks pretty good. It's empty. Looks like maybe it was flipped by somebody flipped that, right? So this one sold at 315. So compared to your listing, how much work does it need? And always understand that buyers are going to double the amount work costs. The carpet might cost $2,000 and they want 5. So, you have to always understand that. So then you're trying to anticipate, because you know buyers so well, what they want, what they like, what they're willing to pay for. And then you can advise your client, your listing client, that way. The other thing that I will say is,
Can open up the one that's active right now.
I was about to say that. So we also want to figure out, why is this still active? Like, that's a good exercise. So it's a split level. It's got some old appliances, but I mean, it looks pretty clean. It is digitally enhanced. It is AI, but it's clean. It's not, they're not crap. Yeah. Yeah. The style is definitely digitally enhanced. Right. And then you want to say, okay, how long has this sucker been on the market? And you want to examine it objectively. How long has this thing been on the market? Where's that, down here? Yeah, 5.2. Jesus. 172 days. And look, they started at 350. 2,100. It was around 1,800. Investor owned, yep.
Can you see in the picture what the downstairs bedrooms look like?
And then, yeah, and then the other thing you want to do, you want to objectively examine is how well did this realtor do with this listing? Because if we believe that what we do matters, we need to see what others are doing. And if they're not doing a good job, that could impact the price of this house or the fact that it's still on the market. Hopefully this isn't anyone's listing in here. The yard looks good. They did the floor plan. Yeah, they didn't have the downstairs, did they? So it's probably empty, low, and there's only 18 pictures total. So these are all things you want to look at. All right, I'm being walked off. So, all right, so play Price is Right. You think you're going to get that listing?
Yes.
Everybody write down on a little piece of paper the price that you ultimately think, and I know you haven't seen it, you're guessing, and you just saw a very wide overview, that house will sell for.
The whole,
What
You want the narrowed or the original?
it would sell for or what you would list it at?
What you would sell for.
What it would sell.
At the end of the day, all we care what it sells for.
In its current condition. Then we didn't look at the pictures, so.
Well, we can't see your pictures. But we know that as a professional, you are going to guide them to make it look as good as humanly possible to maximize their value.
Are we saying full renovation or just?
It is
Probably an improvement. It's a homeowner, right? Yeah, it's probably a home. It's not a flipper, right? It's a homeowner that'll do some improvements. Right. Probably some paint, stuff like that.
they made it rooms. They took away one of the garages.
Put me down for 280. Yeah.
And women, I told them there's 77.
Let's take a vote. You know, everybody can tell say the same thing.
Yeah, has everyone got it written down?
Let me just write it.
Yeah, well, you're keeping this. Yeah. Very, very optimistic. Remember, hers is 1,800. Hers is only 1,800 square feet. We just looked at 2,100 square feet. You got what? But no, we're trying to nail the price.
One.
I got sidetracked.
You got sidetracked. All right, awesome. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Couple more coming in.
Playing a game. Shannon will buy you lunch if you're dead on.
Actually, you got a room.
I got a.
You're keeping them.
Oh,
It's possible that 1,800 square feet.
because this is what I told them. I told them that.
That's right where yeah. I think so. I think you're right. All right. That's all. Anybody else? She's going to tell us. When it sells, she's going to walk in here with all those little pieces of paper and say, all right, who had 280?
Okay.
Which is my number.
No.
Three, we got three. All right. So, no, we got, all right.
Oh, there's one.
You're taking four of us out to lunch.
Five, but you're gonna take me a cool.
No. Oh, you'll remember.
Who were my, raise your hand if you're the winners. Seriously, raise your hand if you had that number. You had it?
Yeah.
280?
He hasn't sold it yet.
I haven't sold it.
Well,
Well, what are you listing it at?
She'll know. She's working on it.
I said 270. I still think you can sell it for 280.
I'm with you. I think we're low, but.
I said 275.
Are you at 275? 277? Oh, you're lower? Okay.
I'm at 255.
255.
I mean, I think the contract is at 259.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, y'all dig into that. Practice makes perfect. Let's reel it in here.
The other contract, no, contract is 20.
And make it a game. Make it fun.
I love that. I think that was great, Mark. Thank you so
Price
much.
is Right. We
That
did
was so
Price is
good.
Right downtown for years. It was great.
Play Price is Right. I love it. Are you ready?
Great.
What's happening next week at KW? It's look. It's all in your text, your voicemail, your email is everywhere. All right, guys, seriously, Legion every morning, 9 to 10. We're live on Tuesdays. Starting in November, we're live Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. Gonna help Tani out a little bit on Thursday mornings. We're gonna be live here. You'll see two different perspectives as to how we do things. It'll be good for you. So if you're not involved in Legion, please jump on the calls. Please be in person. You need to practice. You need the objectives. You need the scripts. Guess what? We're rolling out group coaching. So we're gonna have a party October the 31st, 12 to 2. It's gonna be Tani and me in this room. So please come. We're gonna break you guys up into groups or tribes or however you want to call it, so that we can get some masterminds going, make sure that we're holding each other accountable, so that your next year will look different than it did this year. Okay. So please be here. You need to register though, because we can't feed you if we don't know who's coming. Right. Check your emails. Check all your emails. Alcohol. Oh, well, you'll see. You'll have to come to see. Group coaching is a part of productivity coaching. So,
Let me jump in here real
yeah,
quick.
go ahead, Tani.
So I'll be sending out an email today. It's on my list. So just keep an eye out. If you're in PC or if you're wanting to get into PC, just let me know.
Yeah.
So. All
You have a
right.
question?
I was gonna ask how we sign up. We're not on the email.
We got you. Tamika's new, y'all. She's no longer new. There's only a certain period you get to call yourself new. You will today. You will after today. So we flip it over every month when you get registered into Scott Leroy. Yeah.
3 times.
We have a class after this with Supreme Solutions for the Self-Employed. October the 28th, there was an email that did go out discussing everything they're going to talk about today from Sharina, I believe it came from. So if you didn't get it, check your email. It is there. October the 28th, which is today, 12 to 2. So after this class, get your lunch. After this team meeting, get your lunch. You come back in and there's a class hosted by Sharina and Brandy. I saw Brandy is she in the hallway? Okay, great. The exchange, guys, this is important. If you've never been to this, you need to show up. I put this kind of out to everybody, but it's Wednesday, October the 29th. It's in Madison. It's at Marc Takas' place. We have a large mastermind. You get to network with not just KW agents, but anybody. Okay. So the conversations are a little high level, I think.
Yeah.
The AI conversation
We try.
got me on an AI run there for 6 months. So now I'm all AI, but
Oh, that's good.
the conversations are elite. And so you do learn a lot. Mark's a great teacher. He's been around for a really long time. So I do think everyone should be there. If you can go, then go.
Is this the same day that the business? It's tomorrow.
Yeah, I would.
Business planning clinic is Thursday.
No, I've got.
This is in Peachtree City.
Oh, no, it's-
Thursday.
Listen, if you're a seasoned agent, you need to be there. Hands down,
good.
non-negotiable, you need to be there. You need to make sure you're working the 4 models in your business. If you're a new agent, please go in with an open mind. Take away 3 to 4 nuggets that you can truly implement into next year. Don't try to do everything that everybody else is doing, right? You're not an imposter. You are you, and you are building your own business the way that you know how to, okay? So don't get overwhelmed. Just go in there with an open mind, take down some nuggets, review it, journal on it, and then learn how to implement, okay? Seasoned agents, you need to be there. Are you going, Cindy?
Yep.
Right.
Show hands.
We're all going.
There.
I will be there. Yes,
Raise your hand.
I will be there. Business planning is truly important. It's going to be taught by the regional director. So Gary Keller's left hand, Dawn. So we do love her.
You had mentioned about,
I was going to marry Gary Keller. Go ahead.
I was just asking if you had mentioned about carpooling. Had anybody else mentioned that?
No one. No one's brought it up. They're all afraid I'm going to stay too long, so nobody wants to ride with me. Yeah.
Valid.
Thanksgiving potluck. Who said valid? Thanksgiving potluck is November the 18th. This is in your email, not for the ones that's not getting your emails yet, you will get it. If you haven't signed up, please sign up. Last year was amazingly good. Mandatory. Please come. We want to celebrate. We're going to have a team building moment, some motivational speaking. But this is so good just to come, relax, and be with our family, right? It's so good. Last year was great. So 12 to 2, November the 18th, it's here. It's in this training room. We also have one at the lake too. So if you want to go to that one, you're more than welcome to come to. Family reunion, February 21st, 24th. Q, prices did go up.
Yep.
Prices are up. Early bird's no longer there. But you can still get a ticket.
forgot.
It's in Atlanta, guys. You need to be there. If you could never go, go to this one. Go to this one. I believe so. It only goes up. And it's sold out already, so they had to open up another part. That's how many of us will be there. It's
Don't waste your time.
Atlanta's droppable to a tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Explain, what is family reunion? What happened at family reunion?
It is the Keller Williams Convention, which is held annually. It's a combination of motivation, learn the latest and greatest, and over 200 breakout sessions where you can get detailed coaching and training on any and every topic for new agents to seasoned agents to top producing world dominating.
It's like you
Yes.
read it off the web.
We all go and get tons of coaching. We bring it back to the Market Center.
Did you memorize
It's
that?
life transforming. I agree. Vendors, all of vendors, they all go. We see builders there, mortgage companies, insurance people from every HVAC. My husband goes, he's an HVAC. He takes the models from the MREA. We apply it in his business, is turned it around, although he fights me on it because he's not a planner. But it is life changing.
Just for the perspective of a newer agent, because I feel like a lot of times we think like mega camp, family reunion, that's only for the people who have been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I was like less than a year in when I went last year and I got so much out of it. So don't let that like I'm new, I'm not supposed to be there. It's for
Yeah,
everybody.
it's for everybody.
This one's for everybody.
Show up and you're like open to getting.
The amount of referrals you get, and the people you meet from like California and all this stuff.
Right
Yeah.
now in Vegas from meeting somebody at the KWYT Advance last year.
Nick Montgomery gets about 7 on average that he closes every year. 7 referrals from family reunion. So when we talk about the price, you can't put a price on it. You know, you just got to get there. All right, guys, that's it. That's team meeting. 8 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Lunch is in the hallway. And we have DRB in the back, guys, so you can see plan when you guys can go out and see the models.
Oh.
I wanted to talk to movement about the incentive, the 2% incentive. I know I heard them say they've got like a 3% on a 5-1. That's so much better than Pizza Hut.
No worries.
Oh, got it. They got Chipotle. Nobody's leaving because you got Chipotle anyway. Is everybody business card in here? Is everyone's business card?
Just kind of wing it.
Go ahead. Ava,
All right.
getting lunch.
Yeah. Oh, must be present to win. Must be present to win.
She's there. She's right there. Really? Yes, yeah.
Kenneth.
He just what? He's over there getting lunch. I think. Ken, you won. Right. The
I'm gonna steal the water.
this way.
No, actually, I'm gonna have coffee.
I'm gonna get this.
Maybe. Or split the last year. How nice.
Thank you. Come back out and see.
Are you guys coming back in for our class?
Yes.
So I just, that's what they use.
I think they might have counted.
Yeah.
But probably the answer.
All right, that was great. I think you need more time though.
That will go.
Everybody was like, "Oh, man,
Yeah, I didn't realize it was
have to do it again." They always like
practice,
do my kids.
practice. It's because we don't sugarcoat shit.
Yes.
We don't sugarcoat it. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a bite and then eat downstairs.
You really need to understand the lore of the
Yeah, you ready?
No. But
It's the language of real estate, right?
I know, but then like what I learned last week, the first time I'd ever really looked at it with Dawn,
Mhm.
she gave me like this, I'll send it to you, but it's like a report. And then I was able to just fill my numbers in to see how I was comparing against everybody.
Right. You compare the MLS,
Yeah.
the company, like
Like the things.
step down, right? And it's
Yeah.
just a way to see how you're performing versus the market, others, right?
Yes.
We didn't play.
Where's the me?
It's not everybody uses it, so that's not
That's what he
surprising.
told me. He
Yeah.
was like, nobody in our region, like our people use it.
Oh, no, that's not true.
And I was like, well, they're using it.
Yeah, that's not accurate at all.
Yeah.
Maybe within the Brian Fair family, that's not.
Oh, maybe that's what he meant.
That may be, but we used it for sure.
Well, I think I just want to understand it because when Dawn comes to me, I want dump. Yeah. And I was just sitting there. She's like, you've never looked at this.
Yeah. Well, whenever do you have let's look at the old one. At least we can go through it.
Well, I got a class.
Oh, you're doing that. All right.
Did you meet the new income guy?
I did. I like her.
Yeah.
Seems like no bullshit.
Yeah, I believe that's what we get from it.
Get shit done. No bullshit.
No bullshit.
We like that. I certainly appreciate that.
Me too.
Like,
give it to her.
Yeah, right.
Take it.
Well, it sounds like she's she's been in that world before. So tomorrow's definitely no good.
Okay.
Thursday.
I'll just text you.
Yeah.
Friday, I probably have some time.
Okay. I've only got coaching call Friday. So
I'll just text you. And
should be fairly,
send you what I have.
yeah. And then we can look at
Okay.
on the phone or something.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you getting food or no?
Yeah.
Just starting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. I'm sorry.
Like earlier, you did the same thing. I was like, whatever.
Well, we saw food.
I'm sorry.
Look at us. Look at us.